Well, a little hard to focus this morning, to be honest, because this is where I spent most of the mornings of last week, because it was our children's summer program online, and we broadcast from here in Ponoka with video clips and things from Bashaw and also from St. Mary's and from other folks who had helped us put that together. So first thing today I want to do is say a big thank you to everybody who is a part of that. It was a program called Call of the Wild, and it was the wild was some of the wild things we've been experiencing for the last while, which is things like fear and hate and fairness and grief and diversity. Those were our themes each day. The idea was we want to talk about some of the things that had maybe helped us to feel a little bit like the world was a wild place the last little while. And fortunately, I got to do it from this big comfy chair here with Lori. In fact, I feel like there ought to be a puppet right here. Lori, there should be a puppet here. Graham was here every day. You never see Graham, but he's always there. I mean that in a really good way, because he's always there running the tech and making sure that you can see, well, this, sorry. But we also had lots of support from other folks who contributed videos from Brielle here in Ponoka, from Trina at St. Mary's. We had music videos from Ben Wilson and his family, and we had Holly send us some music videos too, and we had some young people in Bashaw who are awesome. They had summer students at BDSS who put together packages of things for activities for the kids, and also who were part of some of our videos, and that was Tegan and Georgia and Emily and Bryn and Jared and Nate. So thanks to all those people, and Charlotte here in the office, the folks in the office at BDSS where people picked up kits, just lots of support for this program. We really appreciate it, and it was lots of fun. We talked about some things that are sometimes hard to talk about, and it was kind of a magnificent thing, which is kind of ironic because that's where I was going. Today, I got a story for today. That's called The Most Magnificent Thing by Ashley Spires. It's really awesome. Have a listen.
The Most Magnificent Thing by Ashley Spires. This is a regular girl and her best friend in the whole wide world. They do all kinds of things together. They race, they eat, they explore, they relax. She makes things. He unmakes things. One day, the girl has a wonderful idea. She's going to make the most magnificent thing. She knows just how it will look. She knows just how it will work. All she has to do is make it, and she makes things all the time. Easy peasy. First, she hires an assistant. Next, they gather their supplies. They set up somewhere out of the way, and they get to work. The girl tinkers and hammers and measures, while her assistant pounces and growls and chews. When she is finished, she steps back to admire her work. She walks around one side. Her assistant examines the other side. It doesn't look right. Her assistant picks it up and gives it a shake. It doesn't feel right either. They are shocked to discover that the thing isn't magnificent or good. It isn't even kind of sort of okay. It's all wrong. The girl tosses it aside and gives it another go. She smooths and wrenches and fiddles. Her assistant circles and tugs and wags. When she is finished, she stands up and takes a long look at it. Her assistant gives it a nudge with his paw. The thing is still wrong. She decides to try again. The girl saws and glues and adjusts. She stands and examines and stares. She twists and tweaks and fastens. She fixes and straightens and studies. She tries all different ways to make it better. She makes it square. She makes it round. She gives it legs. She adds antennae. She makes it fuzzy. She makes it long, short, rough, smooth, big, small. One even smells of stinky cheese. But none of them are magnificent. Her hard work attracts a few admirers, but they don't understand. They can't see the magnificent thing that she has in her mind. She gets mad. The angrier she gets, the faster she works. She smashes pieces into shapes. She jams parts together. She pummels the little bits in. Her hands feel too big to work and her brain is too full of all the not right things. If only this thing would just work. Crunch. The pain starts in her finger. It rushes up to her brain and she explodes. It is not her finest moment. I'm no good at this. I quit. Her assistant suggests a walk. It's not much help at first. But before long, she starts to feel different. Bit by bit, the mad gets pushed out of her head. As they stroll along, she comes across the first wrong thing she made. The bad feelings are about to start all over again. And then she notices something surprising. There are some parts of the wrong things that are really quite right. The bolts on one, the shape of another, the wheel-to-seat ratio of the next. There are all sorts of parts that she likes. By the time she reaches the end of the trail, she finally knows how to make the magnificent thing. She gets to work. She works carefully and slowly, tinkering, hammering, twisting, fiddling, gluing, painting. Her assistant makes sure there are no distractions. This is the perfect thing to ward off bears. This one will stop that leak. This one's all wet. The afternoon fades into evening. Finally, she finishes. She alerts her assistant. The pair take a good long look. It leans a little to the left and is a bit heavier than they expected. The color could use a bit of work too, but it's just what she wanted. They climb aboard and take it for a spin. They are not disappointed. It really is the most magnificent thing. The end.
That's such a great story, and you might already even be thinking, hey, was that last week? Yes, it was, in a way. Is that story about you and Laurie? Yeah, in a way. But it's about lots of us in a way, because I think sometimes things don't go the way we want them to, or we're just not happy about the way things are going. We feel like we can't do something about it, and we want to quit. And we need something to refocus us and remind us not to quit, to remind us to keep going, to remind us that we are going somewhere. And sometimes when things don't seem to be what they're supposed to be, maybe that's where they're supposed to go. And I think Jesus is a really good example for us of being able to keep going when things don't. Over the last few weeks, we talked lots about how frustrating it must have been to be Jesus. how frustrating it must have been sometimes to be people listening to Jesus. And yet, we keep going forward. And that's so important. And it's so important to remember that, in that moment, God is with us. God is always with us and helping us move forward. So we had an awesome week talking about some really important things and telling some great stories. We had a theme song for our week, which was about how we always feel God nearby and we always feel God's love. And in fact, that makes us want to jump for joy. And Ben and his family actually recorded this song for us back in March. We used a little video of them back in March, and he recut it for the summer. Let's sing it together.
I can feel you near me, God, I can feel you near. Yes, I know you're with me, God, I feel you here. I can feel you near me, God, I can feel you near. Yes, I know you're with me, God, heaven is here. And I'll jump for joy, I'm singing hallelujah. Jump for joy for you. I will jump for joy, I'm singing hallelujah. Jump for joy for you. I can feel you loving me, yes, I know you care. God, I know you're loving me always, everywhere. I can feel you loving me, yes, I know you care. God, I know you're loving me, I know you're there. And I'll jump for joy, I'm singing hallelujah. Jump for joy for you. I will jump